Hey everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please PaperCrafts, and this video is for the Let's Get Organized YouTube Pop for paper crafters, where each month we share our tips and ideas on how to store and organize different items in our craft rooms. And so y'all be sure and go check out everyone else that is participating in this month's hop. I'll have links to their YouTube channel or videos in the description below. Okay, so I wanted to share some different storage solutions for ephemera. Now, I do already have a couple of YouTube videos on my channel where I shared how I store and organize my ephemera, and I do it in quite a few different ways. But I have a new thing that I wanted to try out. So I'm going to talk a little bit first about how I'm already storing my ephemera, and then we'll try out the other new idea that I have. Okay. So let's start off by talking about the different ways you can store ephemera or organize it, I guess. The different ways that I have my ephemera organized, one is by collection. So if I have a collection and I have paper and other embellishments that all coordinate together, I'll store that together. And in order to keep the ephemera protected, I will store it separately in a pocket or sleeve or pouch or something. And I have quite a few different ones here that I wanted to just share with you guys. There's lots of different ways that you can do this, but basically the idea is to take it out of the original packaging so that you can protect it. You can protect your investment. You spend all that money on your scrapbooking collection and you want to protect it from getting damaged. So originally when you buy your collection and your ephemera, it comes in the plastic like this. And the biggest disadvantages to keeping it in the original manufacturer's plastic is that it's very difficult to get it in and out of this because of the sticky adhesive that's on the bag. And then also, once you start digging into this bag, it's going to split, especially Simple Stories. Some of the other collections or manufacturers have a little bit better and more durable packaging, but I would say Simple Stories is one of the worst as far as, like, as soon as you start taking things in and out, the plastic will split on the side and then you'll have holes and things will fall out. So I like to take the ephemera out, and one of the things I've been using for many years, probably 5-6 years, are these CD DVD sleeves from Amazon. It's from a company called Max Tech, and it comes in a pack of 100 like this. And also have this is a 5-inch by 5-inch sleeve, but I also have used these 5-by-7 sleeves. And the 5-by-7 sleeves, I use these whenever I have ephemera that's too large to fit into one of the smaller sleeves. And this is really useful if you have the Simple Stories page ephemera, the page and title ephemera that's really large. It fits really well in the larger sleeve. So in the last year or two, I have started seeing more and more products available on Amazon for storing different things that you have in your craft room. And so one of the things that I came across were these pouches. And they come in all different sizes, different shapes, and also they have different closures. So the first ones that I purchased have Velcro. So these are the Velcro closures, and these are really awesome. They're much heavier plastic than these CD DVD sleeves, and then also they're stitched on the side, so they're really heavy duty. It's really nice plastic. It's really easy to get things in and out, so I really like these a lot, and they come in a lot of different sizes. The two that I purchased was I have the 5-by-7, and then also I have this really large one here. I don't know what the size of this is. If I figure it out, I'll put it up here on the screen. But if you go over to Amazon, you'll find lots and lots of these. Some have Velcro closures, some have snap closures. And the thing that I like about this is that it keeps it closed. The thing that I don't like about it is it does add some bulk to the storage because it's bulky because of the Velcro or the snap. So then I came across this one here recently. So recently I came across this new storage bag, and this one has the slit in there. So it just has a flap with the slit in the plastic, and it has absolutely no added dimension to this storage pouch or storage bag. And this one is actually advertised as stamp and die storage. And I believe this company also sells the same bag, storage bag, or I don't know if you call this a bag or a pouch. But I think they sell it also with the magnets, but you can buy it without the magnets. And you can use these to store ephemera. You can use it to store chipboard. You can use it to store your dies or, you know, other things in your craft room. So I think these are really awesome. It's also a really heavy duty reinforced sides. And I like that it has no added bulk. Although I don't know that this is as secure because, but it's easy. It's for one of these flap things. A lot of times the flaps are really hard to open and close. But with this one, it's really easy to get in and out of. I'm hoping that it's going to stay together though once you get stuff in there. So I haven't really used these as much because I just recently purchased these. But I do like the idea that it's not as bulky. So I have my collection stored in a lot of different ways. This particular collection is in a record sleeve. This is a album or record sleeve. And this is a very inexpensive storage solution. But the thing that's really cool about it is you can put all of your ephemera, your embellishments, even bigger embellishments, like I have these foam stickers in here, your 12 by 12 papers, chipboard, ephemera, everything goes in here. And so it keeps everything together, and it's a fairly inexpensive solution. So this is a record sleeve. And then other ways that I like to keep my scrapbooking collections is in the pouches. So this is a pouch from, I think this is from Hobby Lobby from the Paper Studio, and it just has a snap up here. They also have the ones with the string that winds around the circles. So there's different closures for this as well. And this is a fairly older one that I've had for a really, really long time. And then I also have some Totally Tiffany project planner things, and these have pockets. It has a place where you can put your 12 by 12 paper. There's a big pocket on the back. So for my larger collections, I'll either use this Totally Tiffany project planner page or the Creative Memories Power Project folder. And this is absolutely my favorite way to keep the collection, is the Creative Memories Power Project folder. I do have more on how I store and organize my collections, and I'll put a link to that video. So if you want to check that out, you can do that. So another way that I like to store my ephemera is by color. And so I have these color drawers, and this is the 𝗪𝗪𝗪 2-drawer unit. Each unit has 2 drawers, and then I have them stacked. So there's a clip that comes with it, so you can join the drawers together. And I have a set of 6 of these drawer units, so a total of 12 drawers. Each drawer has a different color. So I have a pink drawer, we have the red drawer, and we have orange, and then down here I have yellow. And so I have a drawer for each color. And what I really love about this is the size of the drawers. So the drawers are really large. You can fit really large pieces of ephemera. And so also just the amount of stuff that you can put in here. They're very deep drawers. They're very large. I'll put the dimensions of the drawers up here on the screen so that you can get a better idea of the size. But the advantages of storing your ephemera this way is if you're working on a project and you just want to add a bit of yellow or red or orange, and you don't have anything in the collection, you can't find anything that really works with your layout, you can just go over to your color drawer and look through this. And so I like to just take everything out, and I'll just spread it out and I can look through it. So the biggest disadvantage is you can't instantly see what you have. You have to kind of dig through it and look through what you have to find what you want. And then so maybe I'll find this and I say, okay, I'm going to use this. One of the biggest advantages is how easy it is to put it back. Because the drawers are really large. You can even put it off your table and just slide everything back in. So we'll just put everything back in there. Okay, so some of the disadvantages is that, well, one, you can't see everything that's in there at a glance. And then 2, things can get ruined or damaged. You can get bent. They can get bent or torn or dirty. And so that's probably one of the biggest disadvantages to storing your ephemera this way. But it is really a cool way to store ephemera by color, and I like doing it that way. Okay, so another way that I have ephemera stored in my craft room is by type of ephemera. And so if we look at this set of drawers, it's actually 2 different drawer units. Each drawer unit has 3 drawers, and I picked this one up from Amazon. And the reason why they're staying together like that is because I just took some clear packing tape and I taped the side of it here so that it would stay together and wouldn't like slide around. Okay, and in these drawers I have things like, here's my butterfly drawer. So I just have all different types of butterflies here, and so if I want to add just something small to a layout, a butterfly, I'll just go and look in this drawer. And what's cool about this is I can have not only flat embellishments but also dimensional embellishments in there. And then in this next drawer we have flowers, and then this one down here we have bows. So it's just embellishments by the different type of embellishments. So that's the kind of things that I keep in these drawer units. And so, you know, it just all depends on how you use your items in your craft room, how you want to store and organize them. But I find a lot of times I'm looking for a bow, or I'm looking for a, you know, a flower, I'm looking for a butterfly. And so having a little bit of my ephemera stored this way, it makes sense. So I've always been a bit of a perfectionist, and even when I was a kid, I like to have everything matchy-matchy and all the same. But as I have worked in my craft room over the years, I've realized that sometimes you have to do things differently in order to be more efficient and to be able to work a little bit faster. And so sometimes it's when you're thinking about organization, you might want to ask yourself the question, you know, when I'm working on a project, what are the things I'm searching for? How do I search for things? You know, what am I looking for? And that might lead you in which direction you should go for how you should store those items in your craft room. So if you're working on a project and you're always looking for a color, maybe you might want to have a color bin. If you're always looking for a particular type of item, like a bow, maybe you might want to have ephemera by the type of ephemera. And so that's pretty much, I think, the best way to try to figure out what works the best for you, because what might work for one person may not work for someone else. Okay, so another way that I store my ephemera is by manufacturer, and this is ephemera where I have a paper pad, like a 12 by 12 paper pad, or I might have a 6 by 8 paper pad, but I don't have any 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper, or maybe I don't have the collection at all, I just have a few embellishments. And so what I like to do in that case is just to put everything into one of these bins. This is a 𝗏𝗏 bin from Target, and I have these stored on my Kallax. And this is my Maggie Holmes bin. So I have a Maggie Holmes bin, I have a Jen Hadfield. So there's just different ones where I have a lot of paper pads, but not really a lot of 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper. So instead of storing it as a collection, I just store all the embellishments in a bin like this, and then I have the paper pad stored somewhere else in my craft room. So there are a few reasons why I decided to store this ephemera in a bin, and that's mainly because the paper pads are really bulky and it would be difficult to put those into a record sleeve or a storage pocket. And then also a lot of these manufacturers like Maggie Holmes, the collections are very similar, the colors are very similar, and so I might use this ephemera with other collections. So even though this collection might be, for instance, Sunny Days, I might use it with the Garden Party. And so sometimes it makes more sense to just store all the ephemera from a manufacturer together. So I have some of my ephemera stored this way. So the last way that I store my ephemera is by theme. And that is if I have some ephemera that doesn't go with a particular collection or manufacturer, I will just store it in a theme. And that, for example, would be with Christmas, fall, summer, pets, travel. So any of those themes that I have, I'll store it that way. So just recently, I have seen some videos that people posted where they shared how they stored their ephemera in these magnetic photo albums. And it reminded me that I have some of these, and I've had them for a really long time. I want to say it's been 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago that I had picked up 4 or 5 of these albums at Michael's on clearance. And I want to say the clearance was like 90% off. I mean, it was like under $2. So at the time, I just picked them up. I had the idea that I would use them to store as an organization tool to store things in my craft room, and then kind of forgot about it. So, but seeing people using them, it reminded me that I actually have these. So I thought I would give them a try. Now, one of the things that I've come to realize over the past few years is that I do not like to store things in binders. If I have something stored in a binder, I typically end up not using it very often because binders are heavy. It's heavy to pick up. So I don't usually like storing anything in a binder. But because I have this already, and I figured why not just use the pages out of it. So my idea was to use some of the pages in the album and to store some of my ephemera from my collections. Because one thing with storing the ephemera in with the collection, let me put this back in here so I can show you, is when you have this ephemera in here, it's rather bulky. And so it adds bulk when you're storing it in with all the other collections. And so I thought, well, there's going to be a couple of advantages to using these magnetic photo pages. Because one, I'll be able to easily see what I have because it makes it so much easier to see. And then also it'll make it flatter so that it'll fit better in with my collections. And so I just went ahead and I did one page just to kind of try it out. And what this collection is the Holly Jolly from Simple Stories. I went ahead and I did it this way rather than doing it this way, just because I thought it would be easier to put things on going this direction. And then I have this on the back. So it's double-sided, and you can actually buy these refill pages without the binder. If I was just going to do this storage solution, I wouldn't buy the whole photo album. You can just buy the refill pages, and they are available on Amazon. So I'll put a link to where you can find those on Amazon. They also come in different sizes. There's this size, but there's also a larger one for 12 by 12. And so, you know, you can find them in bigger sizes. Okay, so here are the, this ephemera here. And I just opened this up one time and already, look, it split. So this Simple Stories packaging is just really flimsy, I have to say. And so we're just going to grab this rest of this and pull it out. I just want to show y'all how easy it is to put the ephemera onto the magnetic photo pages. I want to say one of the disadvantages to using this storage solution is that it does take a little bit more time to actually, you know, put all these onto the page. But once you get them on there, then it's going to be, you know, easier in the future. So you're spending more time up front in your scrapbooking, organizing your supplies. But later, when you're creating your scrapbook layout or your project, you're spending less time because instead of having to sift through all these little pieces every time I want to use it, I can just grab this and say, is there anything on here I want to use? Yes or no? And then put it to the side. And so it's really easy to use. It also protects all of your ephemera and keeps it from getting torn or dirty. So that's awesome. And the way that this works is, I'm going to move this album out of the way. We're just going to take this sheet here and you're going to peel this plastic film off. And I started doing it this way. I just like this to be out of my way. So I'm sitting at a table. I'm going to put this plastic kind of over the edge here so it's not in my way. And then we're just going to take our pieces and lay them out. Now, the one thing that you need to keep in mind is the plastic needs to stick somewhere on the page. So you need to leave some spaces. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to stick as well. So you have to leave some room around the die cuts. And you have to leave some room on the edge here for that plastic to be able to stick down. And so you're just going to lay this out. And it doesn't take too long. It's a little bit of you know, puzzle making, trying to figure out the best way to put all these on here. But I like to put all the images together, and then I'll put all of the words together, and then all the labels together, so you can just do it like that. You can put all the trees together. And if you need to, you can move things around. Here's another, well, this is a tree with a car. Let's see if we can get all the trees on here. I was going to take this big one off and put all the trees down here at the bottom. So it's a really awesome way to store your ephemera. You can store it with the collection, and super cool. So I don't know if I'm going to go through and do all of this, because that might take too long, but I'll just go ahead, and that's probably good enough just to show you, so you can have the idea. And then you just have to get all of that on there, and then you just put your plastic back over it. And then I'll just do this side. We'll put some of the words on this side. But you can also organize your ephemera as you're storing it away. So we can put all of our words over here. Oops. And I know a long time ago when we used to use these for photos, it really damaged photos over time. The photos, it was so sticky that when you went to take the photos out, you couldn't get them out. And I actually did take all of the photos out of albums for my mom and scan them in electronically so we could have digital copies. And I have to say, I fought with these magnetic photo albums. It was horrible. But supposedly these newer ones, the ones from nowadays, not from, you know, 40 years ago, they're not as sticky. So you should not have the problem where once you go back, you know, a year from now to pull something off of here, it should not, you know, ruin your ephemera. So now I can't guarantee that, but I've heard from different people that have been using this for a little bit longer that it does not harm the ephemera. And so anyway, so that's how that works. And then once you get the ephemera on here, we'll have, probably with these 2 packs of ephemera, I might have 3 or 4 of these pages. Then I can just go ahead and put these pages in with my collection, and then it keeps the collection nice and flat. You don't have any bulk at all, which I love. So I'm probably going to be using these more, I think. And probably what I'll do is, as I use a collection and I create a layout, I might go ahead and transition it to this. I don't know, it would be kind of time consuming just to take, you know, every collection that I have and take the ephemera and put it onto these magnetic photo album pages. But maybe I'll do it just as I go. And that's a good way to organize, is just as you go using something, just go ahead and, you know, you can do it then. Okay, so I have a really big glare, so I'm going to just put this over here so you can't see the big glare while I'm talking. So you can also use these magnetic photo albums to store your ephemera by color. So you can make some color binders if you like to store things in binders, and you can do it that way. Another way that I have thought about doing this is to take the pages out of the binder and to put them into a bin and create a flip bin. So I have a lot of my 12 by 12 paper stored in what I call a flip bin. Basically, it's just a bin that's larger than whatever it is you're going to store. And it's fairly short, so that, you know, this is sticking up over the top of the bin. And then you can put it into the bin like this and then just flip through it this way. And I like using flip bins as opposed to using binders. I just like, you know, flipping through things. I think it would be fun to create a flip bin with some of this, some of my ephemera. And then also you could use the top here to create, you know, to write on, to actually create labels, to categorize. If you're going to do, you could do something by theme, by, you know, season, by color, And I think that would be really fun to do that. So I might actually try that at some point if I have some time, some free time. Okay, so I think I've pretty much shared everything that I could think of about storing and organizing ephemera. So I hope you guys got some good ideas from this video. And if you like this video, please give it a like because it helps me to know what types of videos y'all like to watch. And it also helps YouTube to know what types of videos to recommend to other users. And if you are not already subscribed and you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you as a viewer. Okay, that's all I have, guys. Y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now.